Chapter 35. Inner Fire. Dawn was only just breaking over the mountains when Kale, Lyanna, Dren, and Selenia gathered by the central fire of the rebel camp. The pale light made the dew-damp leaves glimmer, and the air smelled of fresh earth and burnt wood. Valor waited for them, arms crossed, carrying himself like a seasoned warrior who did not quite know whether to feel proud or concerned. "It's a shame you're leaving so soon," Valor said as he adjusted his gloves. "Capable people like you would be useful here." Kale tightened the strap of his sword and stepped forward. "Our fight is the same, Valor," he replied firmly, "but our paths lead in different directions. If you survive all this, we'll meet again. Perhaps we'll even fight side by side." Valor smiled, a taut but sincere line. "I hope so. And may the gods walk with you on this journey to Tharzul. If you manage to enter, you might have the chance to change something that we, from here, never could." Dren snorted, though there was a hint of fondness in his expression. "Take care of that pack of mad rebels of yours. I'm not promising anything, but this place felt less foreign than I expected. Maybe I'll come back one day." Lyanna rolled her eyes, though her smile was warm. Selenia, wrapped in the dark cloak they had given her, regarded Valor with quiet respect. "Thank you," she said softly. "If you endure until the end, your sacrifice will not be in vain." The farewells were brief, a clasp of hands, a look, a nod heavy with unspoken promises. Without looking back, the group took the path that opened toward the east, toward the mountain passes and the cold lands that led to Tharzul. Night fell over the city like an iron mantle when Alden finally returned to the inn. He was covered in soot, slick with sweat, his hands trembling from exhaustion. As he stepped through the door, Doran looked up at once. "By all the moons, lad," he exclaimed. "Where have you been? You look like you wrestled a dragon." Sarah studied him with narrowed eyes, as if reading every stain on his skin. "What happened? Are you hurt?" Alden shook his head slowly. "No, just busy. I needed something to keep my mind off the wait for the audience with the king. I found a place where I could practice." Doran raised an eyebrow. "Practice what?" "Smithing," Alden said, removing his cloak and dropping it over a chair. "Like in Hearthglen. Like before." Sarah's expression softened at once. "That made you happy," she said warmly. "I'm glad you found a place." They shared a hot stew ordered from the inn. Alden ate, but fatigue settled over him like an icy sheet. He excused himself early and went up to his room. Sitting on the edge of the bed, he rubbed his reddened hands. He hadn't bent that cursed metal even a millimeter. He didn't know what else to do. When he finally let himself fall onto the mattress, sleep claimed him instantly. The smell of smoke, leather, and freshly baked bread filled the air. Hearthglen shone like a golden memory. Alden saw himself as a child again. Smaller, clumsier, hair unkempt, hands far too fragile for the hammer Bram forced him to lift. "Again!" Bram growled, arms thick as oak trunks. "Strike, but don't strike at random. Listen to the metal." Young Alden panted, his arms shaking. "I can't. It won't bend." Bram let out a laugh that made the walls tremble. "Of course it won't. That lump of iron won't obey just because you shout at it. Smithing isn't about strength, it's about shape. You have to find the metal's true form, help it be born again." Alden raised the hammer with heroic effort. "But how do I know what its form is?" Bram looked at him with calm, paternal patience. "You'll feel it. The metal speaks, boy. Not with words, with rhythm, resistance, heat. That's its pulse. And when you understand it, it will stop fighting you." A soft laugh interrupted the lesson. Elena entered the forge, younger too, carrying a basket of bread and a jug of water. Her eyes lit up when she saw Alden, and his face burned like a living ember. "I brought you something to eat," she said. "I thought you'd be working all afternoon." "My apprentice needs food, air, and patience," Bram replied. "The trouble is, he has little of all three." Elena smiled, a smile so warm that even the forge fire seemed to bow before it. After a while, Bram scratched his beard and gave the boy a friendly slap on the shoulder. "Go play for a bit, Alden. Your arms are useless today. Rest, and tomorrow we'll talk about giving iron a new life." The boy ran toward the door. Elena gave him one last smile he would never forget. Alden woke with a sharp ache in his chest. Nostalgia, sorrow, and something deeper. A realization he had never reached before. He had to find the true form of Durkan steel. Not force it, not break it, not dominate it, understand it. The days that followed were a repeated hell. Strike, spark, failure. Corim watched from a distance, arms crossed, never intervening. Grumar chewed on something each day, repeating his verdict. "He won't make it. That metal will break him before he breaks it." Corim disagreed. "He hasn't given up," he replied, a spark in his eyes. "The fire still burns in his gaze. That can't be taught. You're born with it." Alden barely heard them. Each blow carried him elsewhere. Kalor training in the rain. The short sword with the wolf's head pommel, his father's legacy. The temple, the revelation of his blood, the mark burning in his chest. Lyanna's words, gentle but firm. "You must find within yourself the spark of the primordial fire. It does not rule you. You guide it." Strike. The metal vibrated differently. Strike. A spark burst in a curved arc. Strike. Alden's heart beat in time with the hammer. Heat spread through his chest, but not as a wild blaze. It was different, deep, centered. A light flowing through his veins with every pulse. The air trembled. Corim narrowed his eyes, startled. Grumar stopped chewing. Alden raised the hammer once more, and when he brought it down, the sound was not the same. It was deeper, more alive. And the metal, at last, yielded. Barely a millimeter, but it yielded. Alden froze, hammer suspended, sweat dripping from his chin. Durkan steel had begun to change shape. The road to the lands of Tharzul was narrow and steep. The mountains rose like walls built by giants. An icy wind lashed Kael's cloak as they advanced toward the fortress, guarding the entrance to the dwarven domains. The stone guardians, motionless as sculpted colossi, watched from their pedestals. At their feet, a group of dwarves collected tolls from all travelers who wished to pass. Dren sighed. "And here comes the problem. We have no money, and without paying the toll, they won't let us through. Unless one of you happens to know an intermediary the dwarves like." Cal shook his head sharply. "Don't even think it." Selenia stepped forward, calm as ever. "The primordial fire will open our way." Dren frowned. "And that means what, exactly?" But Selenia was already walking toward the guards. The dwarves stopped her with a practiced motion. "Toll," one of them growled, "or you don't pass." Selenia lowered her hood, revealing the pale blue cloak edged in silver. Her bearing, her gaze, her very presence made the dwarves stiffen. "I am Selenia of Arendor," she announced, "Oracle of the Order of Arendor. I must see King Hramerson. I bear matters that concern the fate of Myranthel." The dwarves exchanged looks. They recognized the weave. They recognized the name. Lyanna stepped up behind her, wearing a similar cloak, radiating a noble serenity that could not be feigned. "She is my mentor," Lyanna said calmly, "and they," she gestured to Kael and Dren, "are our guides and protectors." A sudden flutter cut through the silence. The hawk descended from the sky and settled on Lyanna's arm like a divine verdict. The dwarves stared, mouths agape. "All right," said the lead guard, lowering his voice. "Pass. We won't charge the toll, but don't linger halfway. Go straight to the city." Kyle hid a satisfied smile. Dren let out a relieved breath. Lyanna inclined her head in thanks, and Selenia remained composed, though her eyes shone with the certainty that they were exactly where they needed to be. When the stone giants opened the immense gates, the group crossed through without looking back. 3 days before the agreed deadline, Alden raised the hammer once more. This time not in desperation, not in frustration, but with conviction. The mark burned in his chest, but it did not rule him. He guided it. Strike, light, spark. The metal vibrated as if awakening, and slowly, millimeter by millimeter, it began to reveal its true form. Corim did not say a single word, but for the first time since Alden had set foot in his forge, The old dwarf smiled.